in the game of marketing, you gotta know, if you're a marketer, that you're gonna fail a lot. Opportunities come and they go. And let me guarantee you something. For the next 50 years or more, these will always exist. Marketing does not sleep. So you gotta understand that the marketing game is high activity throughout the entire day. Hey, this is Manuel Suarez here with another episode of the Manuel Suarez Marketing Channel. This one is a very special episode for me because people ask me all the time, how did you get to where you are today, Manuel? How did you do all this after maybe being a failure for a long part of your life? How did you succeed at such a high level in a period of like maybe 8, 10 years, 12 years or so? Well, there's a lot that I can talk about that particular subject, but I can tell you one thing. I realized what it really meant to be a marketer and what that really was all about. The game of marketing became my obsession. The game of attention became my obsession. The game of winning in the game of business via the game of marketing was how I actually succeeded at a high level. And there's a series of traits. This is what I'm calling this episode, is episode 18, the traits of a true marketer. What are those characteristics? What are those qualities that can make somebody accomplish massive success? Because marketing is not just about business. Marketing is about personal growth and personal development. You cannot struggle in life if you become a really good marketer. I promise you that. If we go and do this episode, that I'm gonna break down all these traits for you, and you go out there and you focus on making these individual bullet points better every day, or maybe focus on one of them per week, you will become a really good marketer. And if you become a really good marketer, your value skyrockets. Today, as I'm recording this in the year 2024, maybe you're watching this in 2040, who knows? That's my purpose, is to get people to keep on enjoying this content for generations to come. That's part of the beautiful thing about the internet. This particular era in which I live in right now, 2024, a lot of people would like to have me on their teams. A lot of people would pay me a lot of money to have a seat at their table so I can give them guidance, advice, suggestions, strategy, execution, put their brands to work, and so on. And that's something that I work myself towards with some of the greatest entrepreneurs, the greatest minds in the world. I actually get to play the game of business with some of the most incredible businesses and brands out there. 7, 8, 9-figure brands, even 10-figure people that I've been able to work with closely. So how did I get here? These are my traits. As I was doing the research for this particular episode, which is something that I do quite a bit for this episode 18, hopefully you watched some of the earlier episodes. If you haven't, please subscribe. If you haven't been to any of my videos before, well, welcome. I am the CEO of Attention Grabbing Media and the co-founder of a 9-figure brand called Natural Slim. And my obsession is to teach you how to win the game of business, but not only the game of business, the game of marketing and the game of life. What I realized as I was doing this research was that this particular episode could end up being a book, because it really is the formula and all the different steps that I've acquired and the bullet points that I focused on to make myself very competent and very capable, and to make myself basically indispensable for many businesses out there, for my organization and for the brands that I get to work with, and for my own brands. How would you like to make yourself indispensable? What does that mean, to be indispensable? It means that your value is so high that people cannot even think about not having you on their teams. You know what that does to you? What makes a diamond so valuable? It's because they're beautiful, or is it because they're scarce? Well, you know the answer to that, right? Because it's common sense, and we've been taught this subject for a long time. At the end of the day, no matter how beautiful the diamonds are, what makes them valuable is how scarce they are compared to gold or silver or a lot of the other precious metals out there, right? So if you want to make yourself very scarce, aka valuable, you want to focus on making yourself extremely competent in this area. So I want to teach you all about these things that made me who I am today, that I can tell you at the age of 43 right now, for the first 30 years of my life, they were not important. And in the last 13, they become my obsession every single day, to master these individual areas, to make myself indispensable to my goals, my businesses, my people that I get to work with every day. They cannot really imagine not having me on their sides or in their team. Make yourself indispensable. So let's go over the details of how you become an attention-obsessed marketer that is really, really dedicated to the game of life and the game of attention and business and winning at a high level. Let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, so I put together somewhere around 13 traits that I want to share with you. These are the ways that I like to operate in or as every single day to be able to get myself to a high level of success. And by the way, I'm still developing. I'm still in evolution. I am by no means at the top of the game where I want to be. That's something that's important. You got to stay humble and you got to know that you don't know. The moment that you start feeling that you already know everything, that's the moment that you start going downhill. So why would you want to go downhill, right? You want to keep on going up. I keep on realizing that there's levels. Once I get to a new level, I'm like, wow, look at that level over there. And once I get to a new level, I'm like, whoa, there's another level. So the levels in life are pretty incredible. First of all, before we break down the different traits, I put together a definition here of what it really is to be a marketer. What does that mean? Somebody that is into the game of marketing that calls himself a marketer. Well, let's see. A marketer is someone who strategically promotes products, services, or brands to the right audience. Very important here, to the right audience to generate attention, engagement, and sales. They leverage a mix of channels like social media, email, and traditional advertising. It's not just one channel. It's a mix of them, right? Using data and market research to guide their approach. Very important. You gotta be able to understand what's happening out there. Because if you do understand what's happening out there, you can actually do more of what's already being accepted and do it even better. And they use that data to guide their approach. And how do I go about in the game of business to win at a high level? They need to be creative and analytical. They need to be able to analyze, right? And look at data, crafting compelling messages and continuously optimizing their strategies to stay ahead of trends and drive results. This is very important in this world right here. Stay ahead of trend. You have to be able to see what's happening today. So this is the definition of a marketer. I can tell you one thing. I work with a lot of great people in my life, in my entrepreneurial journey. One of those people was my father. I talk about my father quite a bit in the book, Marketing Magic, which is a bestseller on Amazon. I talk about our story to building a nine-figure brand from the ground up without any outside funding or investors or none of that, just us bootstrap every step of the way. And I can tell you one thing, my father was a marketer because he knew how to put his message in front of people so he can get attention. And he was obsessed with getting attention from people so he can then get a chance to introduce his products and services because he understood that his products and services were valuable and it could help them. And because he understood that, he was obsessed over capturing their attention. What does that do? That makes him a marketer. He would also stay ahead of trends. Obviously, he had my help and he had a great team and we'll always look at what's new. Case in point, 2012, we launched a YouTube channel. Even though he was actually doing television advertising since the beginning of the brand Natural Slim, in 2012 he realized that things had changed and we had to get into the internet and jump all over that opportunity and ride that opportunity wave, also known as that trend. So it's important that you understand that world. My father was a great marketer. Other people that I got to work with for many years, Dr. Eric Berg, he's a great communicator, big influencer. I've been working with him for many years. He has somewhere around 30 million followers on social media. Just like my dad, we have 35 million followers, right? Dr. Berg is a great marketer. He's really good in the game of capturing attention and delivering a message to his audience, to the right audience that he can impact with his message. And by doing so, he's able to generate business. And it's beautiful. So here's the traits that I put together, which by the way, like I mentioned on the intro, as I was writing this, I was realizing, wow, this is a book for me. I'm gonna write this as a book because this came out of my mind. Like, what is the path that brought me here today that can take you to your own level today? What is that path? It starts with your being, your foundation, who you are, how you operate in the game of life yourself. That really determines what buildings you can build, right? You are the central part, the most important part of all your dreams and goals is you. Let me go for this very quickly. Daily learning. I do not let, still today, especially in this era of artificial intelligence in which we have coaching at our fingertips, unlimited, an industry that is somewhere around $6.5 billion a year. People pay for coaching services. You have a coach in your hands, aka ChatGPT, that you can ask questions, engage, interact, get data, information, and get yourself trained and educated. It's that incredible, right? Daily learning is a must. If you're not willing to learn every single day, or if you feel that because you graduated from high school and you graduated from university as a master's in marketing, you don't need to go and study, then you are not going to win the game of marketing. You're not going to win the game of attention. So you got to understand that. This is what it takes for you to win at this level. If you're not able to do these things here, you are likely not going to get there. So I want you to understand that. I have all this content that is going to get even more practical, future episodes, previous episodes, showing you how to win in this game, in the individual practical sides of things. But the mindset, the dedication, the qualities and the traits of you as a person, as a being, as a marketer, if they're not there, you're not getting there yourself. You're not going to build an empire of businesses and people and humans and brands if you're not able to do that. You're not going to grow in a company if you're not able to actually apply all these points right here. So daily learning is essential. You got to have a routine to make yourself better every single day, especially when it comes to relevant subjects. Another one over here, reverse engineering. What does that mean? You got to be able to study what other people, other brands and businesses are doing successfully so it can inspire you. Not so you can plagiarize it. It can inspire you to do your own and help you get things rolling. You don't have any analysis paralysis of sorts, right? So there's, without getting too deep into it, there's something called the Facebook ad library. This is one example right here. We're gonna have another episode about this in the future, but I can go in here, and if you Google Facebook ad library, you'll have the first link that shows up is this thing called the ad library. And I can go in here and I can search for, let's say, my brand, Natural Slim. Let's say that I wanted to find out what Manuel is doing with his brand, because I have my own weight loss company that I want to try to get going and I want to try to replicate successful things. Well, I can go over here and click on Natural Slim and I can see exactly what Natural Slim is running. All the ads, the videos, the images, the graphics, the call to actions, the copy, the websites. I can see the whole thing. I can even see the landing pages, the whole entire thing. That's called reverse engineering. So a real marketer spends time looking at what other companies are doing in the game, so it can inspire them to do their own version of it. I would say that reverse engineering, in combination with the last point that I put over here, which says, think outside the box, is essential. You look at what other people are doing, other brands are doing, and then you think outside the box and create your own version, which is different, makes you stand out, and you maybe add an element to it. For example, my Natural Slim brand, we're not just a weight loss company, we're a service. We deliver consultations. And you know what? We deliver them for free. You don't even have to pay for them. All you gotta do is buy products and we're gonna give you the products, and the consultations are gonna be for free. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us stand out. So you gotta come up with your own element, thinking outside the box. Don't do what everybody else is doing. That's not gonna take you very far. So if you wanna really build a brand, a legacy, you wanna think outside the box after you understand what the other ones are doing. So you see, you mix reverse engineering with thinking outside the box. So here, going on here with like the third one over here, opportunity seeking. What does that really mean? Things come and things go. A master's degree in college will not serve you tomorrow. A master's degree in college is gone the moment that you walk out of that college. So you gotta stay current. You gotta keep on learning consistently about what's happening today. YouTube, for example, in 2006 was the biggest opportunity in the internet world. Many people recognize that opportunity today. It's still a big deal, but it's not as easy to break through. Same thing with social media. Opportunity came, opportunity went. It is not as easy to break through. The same thing with Amazon, for example. It was easy to build a brand in 2012, 2013. There was no competition. You will launch your brand, and because Amazon had so much power already and so much traffic, you would magically start selling right away. It's not the same thing today. Opportunities come and they go. And let me guarantee you something. For the next 50 years or more, These will always exist. There's a friend of mine, one of my partners, Mr. Tom Cummins, who I love, one of my best friends. He says, once in a lifetime opportunities come every 7 days. And that's an absolute fact. They are always present. But if your eyes are closed, you can't see them, you're not gonna see them, right? You're gonna miss them. And they're gonna just pass you by while other people like myself are catching that wave and taking advantage of that opportunity to build more wealth and build more success. So you gotta be an opportunity seeker. What's happening today? Not yesterday. Not when everybody realizes it's an opportunity. What's happening today that you can take advantage of right now? AI in 2024. Things like ChatGPT are making things easier right now to write a book, to create content, to do social media, to create projects and programs, and to be a copywriter, to build a marketing agency. It is an opportunity that we haven't had before. Opportunity seeking will let you jump all over that opportunity, and then you start dominating that particular game and get yourself a little bit higher up. And now, next year, we're gonna think about what's that next opportunity, because they're always coming and going. So you always have to have that mindset of what is that opportunity that I can take advantage of right now. There's many micro opportunities. In 2019, I took advantage of an opportunity called messenger marketing. There was a company called ManyChat, still a great company today, doing Instagram DMs and other things. Back in the day in 2019, it was a virgin territory, and I was able to generate millions of prospects and leads that helped me build several businesses, including Dr. Berg Nutritionals, Natural Slim, including my own brand, marketing agency, and so on, because I was able to generate attention at scale for peanuts. And that was me in my obsession with opportunity. So you gotta be an opportunity seeker. Every single day, ask yourself when your day starts, what opportunity can I find today in the game of business, in the game of attention, in the game of marketing? That would open up the door for you to find these opportunities actively. Okay, be an extrovert. What does that mean? You can't just be behind closed doors and be a marketer. Marketer is obsessed with communication. They are out there. They're looking for collaborations, connections, talking to others, invading other people's spaces. They're comfortable with being themselves and communicating. You gotta be an extrovert. If you don't know how to be an extrovert, maybe being a marketer is not the right thing for you. Maybe you gotta be an employee of a marketer that you can follow his direction or her direction, but you gotta be able to do this actively. Competitive spirit. I hate losing more than I love winning. I don't do well losing. I've always been like that since I was a little kid, playing tennis. I used to break rackets. I used to grab my Nintendo and throw it against the wall when I would lose. I'm not trying to be a bad example for you if you're a kid. Definitely not want to be the best role model in the world. I, myself, in this life, have not done well losing. Still today, I cannot let my kids, I have 4 of them, I don't let them beat me. I don't do well with that. So competitive spirit is essential because you keep on going until you win. You don't just give up. You persist until you actually accomplish growth, expansion, accomplishment, whatever. Very important. Data-driven. Data-driven means that you are able to stop being romantic about what you think your audience likes and use the data that's being given to you about what they like. If you have a video that you think is the best video you ever made and you put it out there and nobody watches it, don't be romantic about it. But if you have another video that you thought you look terrible and it just takes off, then understand that you have to operate based on data, not based on feelings and thoughts. A marketer operates based on data. He tries a lot of things, or she tries a lot of things, but only sticks with those things that actually have data to back up its results. Because here's what happens. When you get all romantic about it, you start spending money on a campaign or a creative or a landing page or whatever that is not working because you yourself, not your audience, feels that it's the best thing that's ever been done. So you can't really operate like that. That's gonna lead to failure. And we went over the think outside the box already. Let's go back over here, a couple more left. So, never going to sleep. What do I mean by that? Never going to sleep. Well, not literally, because you gotta sleep. When you don't sleep well, you don't produce as much, right? So sleeping is very important. I really believe in that. I can tell you that. Now, marketing does not sleep. You don't take days off. Marketing is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't wait for you to come back to work. It's not something that you can just do 9 to 5. That's not what built me. I built my universe Monday through Sunday as Long as I was awake, I was working and creating and directing and adjusting and correcting. My best marketers in my company don't really have a schedule. They want to keep on growing, they want to keep on expanding. They don't shut down at 5 o'clock because they understand that at 8 o'clock, people are trying to buy products still. At 10 o'clock, they're trying to buy products. At 6 a.m., they're trying to buy products and buy services. So you got to understand that the marketing game does not sleep. This is a very important slogan, right? Marketing does not sleep. So you got to understand that the marketing game is high activity throughout the entire day. And when people are taking days off during holidays, you should be putting attention to your work and to your marketing campaigns, specifically during holidays. Why? Because in holidays, people get into the mindset of spending, and marketers splurge on that mindset. We take advantage of people that are thinking about spending money. Very, very, very important. Be like a Hall of Famer. What does that mean? Be like a Hall of Famer. Well, in the game of baseball, anybody that bats 300, that's the average, meaning that they actually got on base 3 out of 10 attempts. 7 times they struck out. They actually tried to hit that ball and missed. 3 strikes out. In the game of marketing, you got to know, if you're a marketer, that you're going to fail a lot. There's going to be many ads that you create, many images, many campaigns and landing pages, many overall strategies that you're going to have to take and dump into the garbage because it didn't work. But once you get those free campaigns that win, those free strategies that hit home, then you scale those to the end of the world. And that's basically the way that you win in the game of marketing. So you got to understand that failing on marketing is more common than winning on marketing. That way you don't have the mindset of giving up. So you got to be like a Hall of Famer in baseball. A baseball player that 3 times out of 10 gets on base usually has the potential of ending up in the Hall of Fame. So you got to understand that this is no different than that. And that's the game of marketing at its best. So we talked about opportunity seeking, communication obsessed, very similar to being an extrovert, right? You gotta be willing to communicate on social media platforms. I did a recent episode, which I believe was the one just before this one, episode 17, in which I covered the subject of block or buy, the philosophy. You have to be willing to communicate to your audience. If you have this viewpoint of you wanna respect their privacy, you don't wanna communicate too much, you're already bothering too much, you gotta make sure that you don't overdo it. This is not for you. This is not your game. You want to win in the game of marketing, you got to know that you got to go and hit them hard and hit them over and over again and let them either block you so you don't keep on messaging them or buy from you. When you have a conviction with your products and services and your message, you go at it until they get results, get the impact from you. Communication is an essential part of you as a marketer. If you feel like you want to be on a corner and you don't feel comfortable with your own message, or you don't feel like you should be saying too many things because you want to respect people, this is not going to be your game. And you should move on into a different career, not being a marketer. If you want to win in the game of business, yourself as a CEO, let's say that you're a CEO of your company, let's say that you are somebody that runs a marketing department, chief marketing officer, you got to know that your ability to communicate obsessively, keyword meaning obsess, you can see here I use that word a lot, is essential, absolutely essential. Results obsess, I am a winner, I need to win. And you should also want to win so badly that you keep on going despite all your failures until you actually win, until your campaign starts making money, until you generate leads at the correct cost per lead, until you start growing your social media following, until you get videos to go viral. You gotta have this obsessive desire to win. And here's what happens. When you really combine all these elements, the daily learning, the reverse engineering, the opportunity seeking, the being an extrovert, the competitive spirit, and so on, your probabilities of winning skyrocket. It's an ecosystem. It all feeds off of each other. But these are the qualities that are gonna make you who you are. And last but not least, creative. You have to be creative, meaning that you have to think about what can you do today that's different than what you did yesterday to maybe help you get a little bit more results than what you had yesterday. You gotta be creative. And that means in the content game, in the business game, in the product development game, in all kinds of games. Creativity is essential. Constantly thinking like an artist. An entrepreneur is an artist. They really are artists. You pretend to just be a business person, but in reality, you have the ability to create. And that's what artists do. And the best entrepreneurs are absolutely incredible creatives. So you gotta have that mindset that, what can I create today? how can I create this so I can get myself one step closer towards success? And these are the traits of a true attention-grabbing marketer. If you have those traits in place, you will eventually win at a high level, even probably more than me, because there's incredible potential that you don't even understand you have. All right? So that's it for this particular episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm looking forward to reading all these comments, and I will see you in the next episode. You know why? Because marketing never sleeps. Talk soon.